Coming up, there's a new exhibit to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Flight 103 Pan Am tragedy. We'll let you know exactly how the university plans to honor the occasion.
And Hong Kong and the Philippines faces the aftermath of Typhoon Mangkhut. We have an SU abroad student tell us what it was like in the middle of the storm.
And Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh faces accusations of sexual assault from a professor in California.
That and much more. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Tonight, a forum at Shine Student Center will give students the opportunity to discuss Greek life. An outside company currently evaluating campus Greek life will also be present. Good evening, I'm Elijah Shama.
And I'm Chris Venzon. In the past few weeks, FAFSA has put sanctions on 4 Greek life organizations. This comes after they put Zeta Beta Tau on disciplinary probation and investigative status due to a controversial video that surfaced online.
Citrus TV reporter Anthony Dabbundo is live in studio to tell us more about the event. Anthony?
Well, Citrus TV, I'm here for you guys, and tonight there's an event at Shine Student Center. Starting around 7:30, there's going to be the Office of Sorority and Fraternity Affairs. They're hosting an event, and what it's supposed to be is an open forum. They're going to discuss the importance of Greek life on this campus. Of course, this all started back in the spring when the videos regarding Theta Tau were released, and the school immediately expelled them. Now, they promised to do an independent review of the school and of Greek life here. And since then, what we've seen is that 4 more fraternities have been put under investigative watch. We all watched the Zeta Beta Tau video that showed the hazing. Well, that brings us to tonight. And what tonight's event is that the school has brought in 2 independent counseling firms. And what they're doing is they are going to spend an entire week investigating Greek life here. And what they're going to do is they're going to say, what do we see with Greek life? What are the benefits? What are the drawbacks? And they're going to provide a report for Syracuse going forward on what they can do to combat the issues that are regarding Greek life on this campus.
Now, quickly, do we have any idea if there's a specific topic within Greek life that they're going to be focusing on at this event tonight?
FAFSA declined to comment on specific events. They said that tonight is going to be a quote, open and honest discussion regarding Greek life. They don't have a set plan. They're going to sit down for about an hour and a half, and they're going to listen to the concerns of Greek life and of the other students not in Greek life. One important thing to note about this event is that SU staff has not been invited. They're not allowed to come. They want to create an event just for students to voice their concerns.
All right, very interesting. Thank you so much, Anthony. We really appreciate it.
This year marks the 30th anniversary of the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. Citrus TV reporter Amber McElrath is in studio to tell us how Syracuse University is honoring the occasion.
An exhibit honoring those lost in Pan Am Flight 103 opened in Burg Library last week. I spoke with remembrance scholars and those in charge of the exhibit to find out how it is going to impact Syracuse University.
Yeah, it's an emotional thing, I would say, for sure.
Remembrance Week starts at the end of October, but its impact at Syracuse University lasts all year. This year marks the 30th anniversary since 35 Syracuse students lost their lives in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. A new exhibit has opened to honor this occasion.
But this is really our way of marking the date and also a way of saying thank you to the families and the other donors who have entrusted us with their materials.
The exhibit is called We Remember Them, The Legacy of Pan Am Flight 103, and features materials from the university archives. The creators of the exhibit are trying to find a positive way to look forward.
We wanted to focus on all of the wonderful things that have come out of such tragedy. So the activism of the families, the Remembrance in Lockerbie Scholars Program, the resilience of the community of Lockerbie itself.
The bombing of Pan Am defines Syracuse University and is part of its history. The 30th anniversary exhibit provides an opportunity for Syracuse to show how the university reacts to such tragedy.
It really sums up like all of the good things about this university and the amazing students that are here and their commitment and the university's commitment to looking back and acting forward in these people's honor.
The exhibit is located on the 6th floor of Burg Library and is open to anyone who is interested in learning more about Pan Am and its history. Amber McElrath. The exhibit will remain open until June of 2019. For more information, visit CitrusTV.com.
Wow, thanks, Amber. And we'll continue to look forward as we remember those who were lost in the Pan Am tragedy.
A trend sweeping the nation's food surfaces now has made its way to SU's doorstep. The plastic straw ban is now in effect throughout campus university dining halls, with food services moving towards sustainability in the past few years. This change is going to help lighten the process of composting most leftovers that you find in your dining hall. Plus, changes in academic affairs, the Academic Affairs Committee. Chris Johnson, the professor of civil and environmental engineering, steps into the role of associate provost. Johnson's worked at Syracuse University for almost 20 years. He says his goal is to improve the university's national rankings and create more scholarship opportunities for students.
And if you want to drop a class, tough luck because the deadline just closed. The academic drop deadline was today at 5 p.m., though administrators say it is still possible to withdraw from a class until November 16th. The catch is that the drop will appear on the student's permanent record. However, flex classes, which only last for a few weeks of the semesters, have different drop deadlines.
In real life, you don't have like 2 months to make that kind of decision. So if you're in the workplace, for example, you're not going to have 2 months to decide if you want to go with a case or you don't want to go with a case.
I think it should be longer than what they changed it to, because I don't think it's enough time to really experience the class and really decide if you like it or not.
Cuomo faces corruption sentencing. A judge found Joseph Percoco guilty of conspiring in a bribery scheme with executives in Syracuse and the Hudson Valley area. The defense is looking for a 2-year sentence, but prosecutors are asking for a sentence that exceeds 5 years. And new details on the double homicide that occurred at the Chili's DeWitt this weekend. I know an incident very dear to our hearts. The Onondaga District Attorney says William Wood Jr.'s familiarity with the Chili's played a major role in the incident. Investigators said Wood planned on killing all 4 of the employees he encountered and picked the Chili's in DeWitt because he worked there in the past. Wood confessed to the killings and is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and first-degree robbery.
The Syracuse University Senate has ruled undergraduate students are no longer allowed to have romantic relationships with faculty. Citrus TV reporter Carmela Boykin investigates why this change comes now and why it's so important.
Prior to this year, Syracuse University students were dissuaded, but not prohibited, from having romantic relationships with professors that weren't their own. Associate Provost for Faculty Affairs LaVonda Reed says it was time for a change.
From time to time, we look at our university policies to see if they are best practices in higher education, and this was one policy that we felt needed to be addressed by the university.
Reed says these changes were partially influenced by the Me Too movement, an effort that has influenced institutions nationwide to revisit their protection policies.
We thought that in light of the current environment that we're living in, and essentially doing the right thing by our students to protect them in their learning environments and their living environments, that now was the time to look at the policy, as I said before. And then what we found when we looked at the policy and kind of really dug deep into it is that there are other universities who had policies that were slightly more protective of students than were ours.
And the new policy is now set in stone, as Chancellor Kent Severud says in his 2018 student welcome message.
The University Senate made an important decision in May when it affirmed that employees of Syracuse University cannot engage in consensual sexual relationships with undergraduate students and cannot have such relationships with graduate students when the employee has significant authority in connection with the graduate student.
Carmela Boykin, Citrus TV News.
A man who admitted to killing 3 people while driving drunk near Onondaga Community College wants to withdraw his guilty plea. 31-year-old Anthony Saccone accepted a plea deal for 10 to 30 years in prison in July. Today, Saccone stated in court that he was coerced into pleading guilty. He argued that after being held in lockdown, he did not have sufficient time in July to look over the deal and agreed to it under false pretenses. The verdict is scheduled for 9 a.m. on October 9th. A mayor in upstate New York is facing calls for resignation after a news report over the weekend alleges he used violence against his wife and daughter. Mayor Sean Morrissey's wife, Brenda, stated that he hit her, smashed a jewelry box over her head, and threw her down a flight of stairs. According to Child Protective Services, he also pulled his daughter's hair, choked her, and threw her to the ground. Morris has denied striking or choking women and said he would not resign until his term ends next year.
All right, Elijah, tropical storm Florence hammered the mid-Atlantic coast this weekend, but nothing but warm weather here in Syracuse. Weather anchor Riley Burg is here in studio. What do you have for us, Riley?
That's exactly right. All we're seeing is warm weather, looking at a 76 degrees, partly cloudy outside right now. Not too bad, let me tell you. But moving into tonight, we're looking at about 70, so it's cooling down just a little bit, just some light winds and scattered showers. But tonight, I would totally recommend, if you want to turn off that AC, open up the window and feel that nice cool breeze, tonight would be the night to do so. And looking at tomorrow, it's going to be about 68 at 9 a.m. and then it's going to rise to about 75 at noon, scattered showers throughout the morning. So I would highly recommend bringing an umbrella with you to your morning classes or on your morning commute to work. Then as we move into the late afternoon, we're looking at 74 degrees. So not much as far as temperature change goes, but it is going to be very, very cloudy out, much to go along with your post-Juice Jam blues. And looking into the future, it is going to be very cloudy out, and Florence, Hurricane Florence, will be bringing more clouds our way. I'll tell you more about that in my 4 weather forecast. Chris and Elijah, back to you.
Looking ahead, we'll have more on Florence as it moves to upstate New York. Stay with us.
And Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh is facing accusations of sexual assault. We'll be right back.
Got a quarter?
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back. We have breaking news from the Senate Judiciary Committee. Brett Kavanaugh is scheduled for a public hearing next Monday. It is not yet clear who will be part of the meeting as of right now. The White House spokesperson says that Kavanaugh is looking forward to clearing his name. Citrus TV will keep you updated with talking points later tonight. Now, on that note, Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh has been accused of sexual assault by a professor from California. Christine Blasey Ford alleges Kavanaugh assaulted her in their teenage years. She also claims Kavanaugh was drunk during the attempt. Michael Furnari is here in studio to explain the timeline of events and what this can mean for Kavanaugh's nomination, especially with this breaking news. Take it away, Furnari.
Yesterday, we learned more about Christine Blasey Ford's sexual assault accusation against Brett Kavanaugh. In absence of a more precise time frame, Ford claims that Kavanaugh, stumbling drunk, sexually assaulted her one summer in the early 1980s. She claims that he pinned her to a bed and groped her over her clothes while a friend of his watched. Ford did not mention the incident until 2012 when she described it to a therapist, whose notes constitute the only physical documentation we have so far. Brett Kavanaugh and two people who claim to have been at the scene have disputed Ford's account. Senators on both sides of the aisle, including Susan Collins and Dianne Feinstein, have expressed their desire to see Kavanaugh and Ford answer questions under oath, which, as Elijah told you, they will do this week. Both of them have expressed their willingness to do just that. Speaking on the issue for the first time a few hours ago, President Trump expressed his support for Kavanaugh while still remaining open to delaying the vote. In the meantime, Mitch McConnell is scrambling to gather support so he can safely carry on with votes sooner rather than later. For many Republicans, the proceedings brings up bitter memories of Anita Hill and the hearings for Justice Clarence Thomas. With their 52-vote majority, the responsibility falls squarely on the shoulders of Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans. In the coming days, we'll certainly see if there's more to Ford's accusations and if Republicans have the conviction to ram through Kavanaugh's nomination. Chris and Elijah, back to you.
Thank you so much, Michael. It's going to be interesting, especially with that breaking news.
All right. Well, on another note, as the death toll continues to rise in the Carolinas in the wake of Hurricane Florence, a 3-month-old, a 7-month-old, and a 1-year-old are among the 25 victims of the hurricane-turned tropical storm.
Others include car crashes, carbon monoxide poisoning, and an electrocution caused other deaths in the area. Florence is expected to bring heavy rains to upstate New York tonight. Elsewhere, legislation to fight the opioid crisis is enjoying bipartisan support in the Senate. The Senate is expected to vote next Monday on the provisions that would allow the FDA to increase opioid packaging requirements.
That's right. The bill included in the STOP Act will seek to stop illegal drugs from making their way into the United States. The House passed a similar act in June, which provided some optimism for supporters of the bill.
And turning to weather, over 3 million people in Hong Kong are currently evacuated as Typhoon Mangkhut made landfall yesterday, causing nearly 400 people to seek medical attention. Currently, the city is facing some extreme damage.
Yeah, bus and rail services were suspended on Monday, forcing workers to find other ways to get to work. SU Hong Kong abroad student Justin Tang says preparations for the storm began nearly a week ago.
You could almost feel the wind like hitting, if it was like a person like tackling the building, and you can just hear like the roaring wind outside. And the elevator stopped working in our building. In my apartment, the power outlets went out, the internet went out. So there was a lot of chaos happening.
This comes after the storm reportedly killed at least 54 people in the Philippines. 49 others are still missing after an enormous landslide destroyed hundreds of homes. Gusts of wind hit 200 miles per hour when Mangkhut tore through the Cagayan region in the northern Philippines on Saturday. Officials say that more than 500,000 people were affected by the typhoon in over 400 cities across America, Elijah.
Wow. And turning to politics, Brazilian far-right presidential candidate Jair Bolsonaro is awake after a stabbing at a campaign event landed him in the hospital 2 weeks ago. Bolsonaro wasted no time speaking with his supporters, broadcasting a live video directly from his hospital bed. In the address, he accuses his opponents of not doing enough to deter violence. Bolsonaro was stabbed by an opponent in broad daylight at a rally. He is the current front-runner for the election in October.
And on the other side of the world, China's leading actress Fan Bingbing has been MIA for the past 3 months, but now perhaps some clarity as to the reason for her disappearance. She faces allegations, of tax evasion, although authorities have not officially charged her with a crime yet. But in China, accusations like this are taken very seriously. The last sign of Bingbing was in June when her social media account said she went and visited Tibet. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, there's a new feature for Apple products on this latest iOS software update.
And Coca-Cola is watching the debate on cannabis to potentially add it to their drinks. That plus your full weather forecast when we come back.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream.
that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly, just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader. From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
And Hurricane Florence is making sure to leave its mark. Remnants of the storm are moving up the coast and towards Syracuse. If we look down here, we're going to see a low pressure system moving up through Elmira, Binghamton, heading towards Albany. Syracuse isn't going to get hit too much though, just going to see some light winds and scattered storms. As I said before though, Elmira, Binghamton, Albany, all going to get hit very hard. So when we're looking at flooding risk, these are the areas that we want to see caution in. Just be careful as you're driving throughout the week. And looking at our 5-day forecast, as we talked about Tuesday, again, partly cloudy, 79 for a high, so it will be nice and warm out. Like I talked about earlier, you're definitely going to want to have that umbrella for those early morning showers. Then looking at Wednesday, it's going to be partly cloudy again. The humidity and heat are going to die down, about 71 for a high and 52 for a low. Moving into Thursday, cloudy and showers throughout the day. So if you want to start your weekend early, this is what I recommend. Cuddle up on the couch, watch a movie, eat some popcorn. That'll be a perfect way to spend your Thursday. And looking at Friday, again, mostly cloudy, but the heat and temperature are going to rise. It's going to be about 80 and 56 for a low. Saturday, game day, dropping down to 66 with a low of 55. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Riley. Definitely looking forward to that 60-degree weather later on.
That's right. And moving on, shortly after announcing its newest iPhones, Apple is making headlines with another release, an iOS 12. The new update hit iPhones and iPads earlier today, and it includes several new features, Elijah.
Yes, some of those features include a new option called Screen Time, which shows you how long you've been using apps on your phone. Other features include a new measuring app, Siri shortcuts, and a faster interface overall. And Coca-Cola could come out with a new product with cannabis. The company and a Canadian marijuana manufacturer are reportedly talking to add the ingredient cannabis oil to their soft drinks.
Cannabis oil is a non-psychoactive ingredient derived from marijuana. Coca-Cola claims that the addition of the ingredient could gain traction, but as of now, the company has not made any official moves to use CBD. All right, let's take a toss over to sports. Jonah, what do you have for us today?
Coming up, Syracuse football hosted a team on Saturday they haven't beaten in 52 years. Also on the Hill, both the women's soccer team and the field hockey team were home yesterday. Full recaps of all three games when we return on News Live at 6.
I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. Could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm Jonah Karp. The Syracuse football team was undefeated through 2 contests, entering their first conference game of the year, Florida State, a program the Orange haven't beaten since 1966. Well, SU was home in a boiling hot Carrier Dome to try to change that on Saturday. Well, it's the first ACC contest of the year. 89 degrees inside the dome. The Orange heating up early. Andre Schmidt putting it through the uprights. 3-0 SU early on. So the offense getting things done. How about the defense? DeAndre Francois picked off by Christopher Frederick, his first interception of the year. The redshirt junior getting things done on the defensive end for the Orange. 6-0 SU entering the break at halftime. Notice a new quarterback in for Syracuse, Tommy DeVito, getting the job done on the ground, finding the end zone. Syracuse on top 13-0 in the third quarter. DeVito still in, did it on the ground. How about the aerial attack? A 3-yard touchdown pass, Ravion Pierce bringing it down. 20-0 SU, pitching a shutout. But that wouldn't last long in the fourth quarter. Syracuse still on top 23-7. Dante Strickland 13 yards away from the end zone, putting the icing on the cake. And then your final 30-7. Syracuse coming out on top. Well, you notice Eric Dungy exiting the game in the first half. Dino Babers addressed that after the game.
The big thing is he just had blurred vision. I'm not sure. I got to go back and watch the tape. I don't know if it was a thumb or a finger. You know, when you're running the quarterback, and who knows? I mean, you get in some piles, and, you know, things happen in piles. If you've ever played football, things happen. And, you know, he just had a blurred vision. And you could see 1 or 2 plays. I was kind of looking at him like, you know, like, where's the ball going? You know, that looked kind of weird. And I'm like, come here, let me talk to you. And, you know, he just said, hey, I can fight through it, but it wasn't that case.
Meanwhile, over at SU Soccer Stadium, the women's soccer team began conference play of their own. Syracuse fell to number 13 Duke 4-0 yesterday. One bright spot for the Orange, Lizzie Ann Prue, the sophomore goalkeeper, got the start in cage, tallied a season-high 8 saves. The loss is the 3rd time this year the Orange have been shut out. That's the first time that's happened since 2006. Not something you want to see if you're the women's soccer team.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Citrus TV, we'll be right back.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed.
I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it.
I just want my family to be safe.
But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
And that's all the time we have today for Citrus TV News. I'm Elijah Shama.
And I'm Chris Venzon. Have a great evening, Syracuse.